More than a week passed since I received the newest Ainol-Crystal tablet, and now I'm ready to present the review of this tablet to all the YouTubers. So first let's take a look at the box. It's a rather standard Ainol box. It's similar to the boxes of the Aurora Elf 2 and Flame, for instance. It's about as hard as the above mentioned boxes. That is, it's rather good. What is interesting about this specific box, it has some symbols here, Chinese symbols, but generally it's in English. It's the English version of the tablet also, and you can see the logo of the jelly bean here. So this is the first Ainol tablet with the jelly bean on board out of the box, as you can see. It has a dual-core Cortex-A9 1.5 GHz Logic 8726 M6 or MX CPU and dual-core Mali GPU. Also it supports flash, it supports full HD video, and so on. Now let's take a look inside the box. What we can see here is the English language manual. It's full in English, and it's the first real English manual I received with the Ainol tablets. In the Flame, which I received only about 3 weeks ago, didn't have such full-size English manual. Also there is a warranty card in English, as always with the Ainol tablets received from SPMOL. As you can see, this part of the box is a bit worse than in the Aurora or Flame box. It's just form a piece of plastic, but still it's rather good. The tablet was packed well, so it's okay. What you can see here also is the standard Ainol headphones, the data cable, and the OTG cable. As you can see, it's rather interesting OTG cable because it has the input for the charger, so you can plug the devices with a high current capacity, like the external hard disk drives, for instance. Also, we have a charger in a standard Ainol box, but it's not a standard Ainol charger, because this charger is the same as we had with the Flame and with the Aurora. It's with the European plug, but in all other characteristics it's about the same as the standard Ainol charger. So it's 5 volts and 2 amperes. Quite a good charger. Now let's take a look at the tablet. As you can see, it has a quite traditional design for the Ainol's tablet. Is the inscription Ainol here. It has the same 2 megapixels frontal camera as the Aurora 2 and the Flame. It has 4 buttons. It's a power button, volume minus, plus, and the home button here. As you can see, it's a white version of the tablet. There is a speaker here. It's a one mono speaker, and there is a standard set of connectors. This connector is for the DC charger, mini HDMI connector, it's a plug for mini USB, microphone, the slot for the micro SD cards up to 32 gigabytes and more, and the standard plug for the headphones, 3.5mm plug. Now let's turn on the tablet and see what's inside. What is interesting about this tablet, first of all, it's that it has an MVA screen. It's not the TN screen, but it's not also the IPS screen. Let's take a look at the viewing angles of this screen. As you can see, they are quite good, and they are much better than the angles of the standard TN matrices. But I would say they are a bit worse than the viewing angles of the IPS screens. So if you are looking at this screen under the angles like this and this, you may notice the bluish and the yellowish colors on the screen. But in all the other aspects, this screen is quite good. The contrast ratio is rather good. It's not perfect as it should be for the MVA screens, but it's quite good. There are no dead pixels on the screen. The brightness is also rather good. It's not the highest among the tablets I tested, but it's good enough. And generally this screen is of course much better than the screen of the predecessor of this tablet, Ainol-Elf2. Ainol-Elf2 had the standard TN screen, and the Ainol-Crystal has a MVA screen, which is really much better. Now let's check the interface. There is a not standard launcher installed here. As you can see, it's a Nova launcher, which I consider is better than the standard launcher for the several reasons. Now let's take a look at the settings of this tablet. As you can see, it's not a standard ROM of this tablet, and it's a special modified AOKP ROM. It's unofficial ROM from the Elf2, modified to run on a Crystal tablet. And of course it's much better than the standard Ainol ROM for the several reasons. First, you may notice that we use the tablet in the portrait orientation, not the landscape orientation traditional for the most of tablets. It is because this tablet has a similar to the Nexus 7 interface. As you can see, there is even Nexus 7 inscription here in this ROM. The standard Ainol ROM also has the phone interface, which has the main screen only in the vertical portrait orientation, but the AOKP ROM allows at least to use the tablet interface, as you can see here, and the standard ROM doesn't allow to use it and only allows to use the phone interface, which is not very convenient for the tablet. Another ROM, there is a Cyanogen mod for this tablet, but unfortunately I can't make the Wi-Fi work on this mod, and only I was able to run the Wi-Fi and all the other functions of this tablet with the AOKP firmware. But I would say that AOKP is also quite a good firmware, and you may find the links to this firmware and all the necessary stuff in the description to my video. Now let's take a look at the other settings. As you can see, there is a Bluetooth modification. You can turn on Bluetooth connected to the OTG cable. There is also a room control specific for the AOKP. There are many additional settings in this room. Also, as we have in the Cyanogen mode, this room also has a lot of additional settings, and most of them are quite useful, I should say. What is interesting here is that you have the performance tab. It's not quite operational, but you can set the governors and tablet. As you can see now, it's on demand. You can set the voltage settings with this kernel, but still it's quite an interesting thing. Also, this tablet has 8 GB of integrated memory. It comes only with 8 GB, not to compete with the more expensive and more advanced tablets like Aurora 2 or Flame. But it doesn't matter because it has a SD card slot, so you can add as much memory as you want to add. The battery in this tablet is the same as we had in the first and second generation of the Elf and Aurora. It's 3700 mAh battery, and the battery life is also about the same or maybe even a bit better. So you may count for at least 4 hours under load with the high brightness of the screen, and up to 6-7 hours of video, and up to maybe 8 hours of reading if you are using this tablet with the low performance mode and with the low brightness of the screen and Wi-Fi off, so maybe up to 7-8 hours of battery life. So it's quite good. Maybe not as good as the Flame, which has a much better battery, but still it's quite good. What else is interesting about AOKP is that it has all the languages of the Android integrated, unlike the standard Ainol firmwares, which have only about 20 languages. These have about 50 languages. Now let's take a look at the touch screen of this tablet. Let's test it. What I should say, the touch screen is quite good, no problem. Maybe it's not as good as in some other tablets. I would say that the Cube Mini U30 GT has a bit better touch screen, and maybe the Flame also has a bit better touch screen. But generally this touch screen is quite good. As you can see, it also understands 5 touches at the same time, and I actually have no problems with touch screen. It reacts quite adequate. Now we can check the brightness of the screen. As you can see, the maximum brightness are rather high. The minimum brightness is also comparatively high, so maybe it's not so convenient to use this tablet in the complete darkness. But the generally screen is quite good, as I already said. Now let's check the root in this tablet. This tablet, unlike the Flame, is not rooted out of the box, but of course with the custom firmware it is rooted already. So as you can see, it's rooted. Now let's check the video in this tablet. There is a test HD video, as you can see. All the videos I tested run quite good, so no problems as with the other tablets from Ainol based on the Ainol-Crystal-Review processor. There are 3 test videos in this tablet already integrated, and all of them run quite well. Let's run the gallery. No problems here also, as you can see. Now let's test the Wi-Fi signal. As you can see, right now we have 4 to 5 Wi-Fi networks, and my network shows minus 45 dBm of signal. It's an average result. For instance, Ainol Flame shows a much better results. It's up to minus 30 dBm, but actually minus 45 dBm is quite a good result. There is a new Wi-Fi module in this specific tablet, in the Ainol-Crystal. I cannot say it's much better than the previous Ainol's Wi-Fi modules, but it's also not worse, so no problems in the 3 rooms flat with the signal, I would say. Now let's run the speed test. I have a 15 megabits network, and as you can see, the tablet shows about the 15 megabits per second speed. It's actually I use my broadband network completely, so quite a good result. Now let's run some programs. As all the other latest tablets, this one runs quite well with the internet. As you can see, no actual problems. Here also I should notice that maybe the Rockchip 3066 tablets are a bit faster with the World Wide Web, but the actual speed of this tablet is quite acceptable for any use of the internet. As you can see, absolutely no problems here. Now let's test the Play Store. Also no problems with the Play Store with this custom ROM. In the integrated Ainol ROM there are also actually no problems, just some of the applications are not allowed to be installed, but with this custom ROM there are no problems at all. You may set and choose and install any application from the Google Play. Actually, absolutely no problems. As you can see. Now let's check the YouTube. What I should say is this tablet needs a specific version of the YouTube. It's 4.0.8 version, because with the Logic MX not all the versions of the YouTube applications are compatible. but if you install the correct version, then there are absolutely no problems, and the HD video runs quite well.
A wet t-shirt contest video. I was giving away all these shirts, and the winners are...
Let's try to find some normal video here. I'm not sure it's possible.
Man, that show is awesome.
Yeah, the crowd was like super into it.
Well, quite stupid, but still. As you can see, this application runs also quite well. And what else we should try and test is the Google Maps. Let's try it. As you can see, no problems here. Absolutely no problems. Quite a good performance. So you may use the Google Maps without any problems. Now it's time to test the performance of this tablet. First, as always, let's run the Antutu benchmark, and as you can see, the results are not so perfect. It's only about 6,600 points. And what is interesting that the actual CPU frequencies showed as 1320 MHz. In the standard firmware it's only 1200 MHz, but I would say that the actual CPU frequency is even a bit lower according to the results of the random access memory and CPU. The actual speed of the CPU is about 1, maybe 1.1 GHz. So the results are comparatively low. For instance, the Ainol-Aurora 2, which has almost the identical hardware, the screen with the same resolution and the same system on chip, it's an Logic MX. It shows about 8,800, and this tablet only shows 6,600. But I believe it will be corrected with the later firmwares. And we have about the same situations with the Quadrant. Also, you can see the result. I won't run this test right now, but the result is 3,820 points. It's also a bit lower than the Aurora. The Aurora shows about 4,300 or 4,500 points even. So this tablet, it's a bit slower. But of course it's much faster than the single core Cortex A9 tablets, for instance, based on the previous popular chip Allwinner and Tane. Let's run the Velamo. I tested it already. As you can see, the HTML5 result is 1425. It's quite a good result. And as you can see, it's the fifth result among the tested devices, so it's a bit faster than the Sony Xperia S and a bit slower than the Samsung Galaxy S3, so you may notice the result is quite good here. The same situation with the metal. Also the fifth result, as you can see, and it's also a bit lower than the Galaxy S3, but faster than the Samsung Galaxy Note, LG P880, Galaxy Nexus, Galaxy S2 and so on. So as you can see, it's quite a fast tablet according to this test. The Nanomark shows the average results. I should say the last run it was, as you can see, is 42.2 frames per second, and the best result was 43.1 frames per second. The Aurora is capable to run a bit faster, I must say. But what is more interesting about this tablet are the results of the GL benchmark 2.5.1 and the results of the Teiji benchmark. Let's take a look at them. The most interesting results here are the fill rates. They're equal to 426 megapixels in the standard resolution and 433 megapixels in the off-screen test. And I must say it's a much higher result than for all the other Logic MX tablets. For instance, the Aurora 2, the Flame and the Onda VI30 dual core show only about 360 megapixels. So this tablet is much faster. Maybe it's because it has the AOKP custom firmware, but it really shows a much better result. And the same situation with the Teiji benchmark. So let's run this test. And what I should say is that, like OpenGL GL benchmark 2.5, this test also shows substantially better results on this tablet than the other Logic MX tablets. We'll see it in several seconds. So as you can see, in full screen mode it shows about 23 frames per second, and in this mode it shows about 23.5 frames per second, and sometimes this test shows even more than 24 frames per second. The Aurora 2, which has the same hardware and the same resolution of the screen, shows in this test only about 20 frames per second. So as you can see, this tablet is substantially faster, so it's about 15 to 20% faster, and about the same difference there is in the fill rate test of the GL benchmark 2.5. So I can make the conclusion: frequency of Mali 400 in this tablet is substantially faster than the frequency of Mali 400 in the other Logic MX tablets. Maybe it's because of the custom firmware, and maybe this tablet is a bit upgraded by the Ainol itself. Okay, so now it's time to run the games. Of course, no problems with the simple games like Angry Birds. As you can see, it's absolutely fluent. Also quite fast in the Fruit Ninja, as you can see. Now let's run heavier games. First is the Bubble Rise in 3D. Also, you can see that there are no problems. The performance is quite good, even with the many special effects. Now let's run the actual game. Quite fast. As we can see, the performance is quite good here. It's far not the simplest game according to performance, but as you can see, it works quite well. Now the Death Rally. This is a nice racing game with beautiful graphics, and also, as you can see, the performance is quite good. The game is quite playable. The Eternity Warriors 2. Also, the Eternity Warriors are quite fast and fluent. As you can see, they are quite playable. Now let's run the Death Trigger. So the dead trigger runs also quite fluently. Maybe it's not perfectly fluent, but on the other hand it's quite playable. So now we can make some conclusions about this tablet, about its pros and cons. What is good about this tablet is that it's comparatively not expensive, so it's about $120–130 online, including the shipping. It has a comparatively good NVA screen, which is much better than the ordinary TN screens. So it's maybe a bit worse than the IPS screens, but there is not much difference. I would say this screen is quite good. The resolution of this screen is standard for most of the 7-inch tablets. It's 1024 by 600 pixels, so it's less than in the Ainol Flame, but it's the same resolution as the Ainol Elf, Elf 2, Aurora and Aurora 2. And the screen quality is almost the same as in the Aurora 2 tablet. The materials in this tablet are not so expensive, but they look quite good, so also no problem. The build quality is generally good, but there are some squeezes in this tablet. You can see it. Maybe you can hear it. But the general build quality is good, no problems here. The performance is not perfect. In some tests it's a bit worse than in the other Logic-MX tablets, but I think it will be corrected by the future firmwares. On the other hand, with the other tests, three-dimensional tests, like the Basemark Taiji and the GL Benchmark, these tablets show even the better results than the other Logic-MX tablets. The gaming performance is acceptable. It's worse than for the Rockchip 3066, but it's better than for the most of the Logic-MX tablets, and of course it's better than the previous generation of the tablets. Also no problems with the software. As you can see, all the programs I tested work quite well. The Wi-Fi signal is rather good. It's not perfect, but it's good. No problems here also. There are many custom firmwares already. You may look under the links in the description to this video. I tested the tablet with the rooted firmware AOKP, which is based on the Android 4.1.2. The stock firmware is the Jelly Bean Android 4.1.1, which is also rather good, but the custom firmware is better, of course. The battery in this tablet is good enough, so it's on average about 5 to 6 hours. No problems here. It's better than the same battery capacity for the Rockchip 3066 tablets, but of course the Ainol Flame is better in this respect. Actually, I didn't find any substantial problems with this tablet, so I can recommend it to buy, especially if you want to find the budget tablets, maybe for your children or for the gift. So that's it about this tablet. Now I can only make the announce that the next review will be devoted to the People M3 tablet, which is a very nice 10.1 inch IPS HD tablet based on the ROG chip 3066. I received it already, so the review will be ready on the next week. And that's it for today. Thank you for attention.